Welcome everybody to today's video. We are going to be talking about a new VR gun stock on the market that could be used with your PSVR2 and multiple other VR headsets. But for today, we're going to be touching on the actual PSVR2 side of the stock itself. This stock I'm talking about is the Armory R1 from VR Tactical Gear. And as you can see, it's got a very unique design. There's no magnets, and especially with the front, because most stocks use a magnet on the front for stabilization, whereas this one doesn't. It uses this front pad here for you to rest your arm on, or the controller, whatever way you find it more comfortable to use. And what I mean by that is because when you reload your gun in VR with your offhand, you take it off the magnet and then you go to reload your weapon. And sometimes getting that magnet back onto the stock itself can be quite difficult. And especially in the heat of battle, it can cause a lot of issues. So with a stock like this, with a really big front pad here, it makes it really easy to line up your weapon, get it back onto the stock, and stabilize your aiming to get you straight back into the battle. So, yeah, let's dive in. I'm going to show you some gameplay of some popular PSVR2 games I've played, and then I'm going to be going over the stock itself, talking about some of its specs and my overall thoughts of it. So one of the first games I jumped into was Pavlov, because this is still one of those popular shooters on the PSVR2 that everybody jumps into, so I thought, let's see if the stock works on this. First up, I tried putting some attachments on the weapon and had no issues in doing so. I didn't jump into a match or anything because I just wanted to try a single weapon, taking shots with that and putting attachments on it, as opposed to getting shot at and using the random weapons that it threw at me. So while aiming down the sight, I found it to be a very good experience. There was a little bit of occlusion, but not enough to kind of cause issue with the gun moving around on its own. I was able to stabilize it and get really good shots in still with a headshot on the target. You can't really see this properly because of the way the recording is with aiming down the sights, because of, recording from left eye or right eye or whatever you select on the settings. But either way, I had a good time playing this with the stock. And to be fair, I probably would carry on playing this game with the stock going forward now. So the next game I jumped into is Breaches, because this is still one of my go-to PSVR2 shooters, and I always have a really good time with this. So obviously I knew whether a stock was going to improve or, make my gameplay even worse. And I'm happy to say the stock did actually improve my gameplay. I was hitting headshots a little bit easier than usual, because when aiming and adjusting my aim straight to the point of the head, I wasn't, waving or anything. I was getting that stabilization of my aim perfectly on point, to the point where I could just take the shot. Reloading the magazines was very simple. With Breaches, it's just a simple eject the magazine and insert another one, and it does the rest for you. So doing this on a stock really didn't cause any issues at all, and I had such a great time playing this one. I even jumped into a few matches, had a good laugh, and ended up playing this game probably for about an hour or 2 hours with just the stock on at the time, because I didn't want to come off it. Every time I play Breaches, I can't come off it. And going forward, I'm definitely going to continue using the stock on this game. Them headshots were a lot cleaner than I've ever done before. So, yeah, it really helped. The next game I decided to jump into was Firewall Ultra, and the only reason I really decided to play this one is because it's a PSVR2 exclusive, and I wanted to make sure the stock worked fine on that. And I'm happy to say it does. I had no issues whatsoever lining up shots and hitting everything. The stabilization was really well done, and I only tried it in the shooting range due to last experience I had with this game getting into a match not being that great, so I didn't really want to attempt it again. So I just took a few shots at the shooting range, and it worked great. I had no issues. A lot of fun. Let's go on to the next game. So the next game I played was Crossfire Sierra Squad, as this is a game I've tried a lot before with other stocks, and I really wanted to give it a go just to see how the Armory R1 worked with it. And I'm happy to say it worked really well. As you can see, one of the first guns I used was a sniper rifle, and I was bolting the rifle with my actual trigger hand as opposed to the offhand. This is something I've tried before with other stocks, but I could never get it down due to the magnets. But with this one, I was literally doing it within the first 5 minutes of using the stock, and it felt awesome. Like, really awesome. Anyways, next up, I jumped into a quick match of the co-op, and as this game is only PvE, I was just shooting at the enemies that were provided. This was a few drones, a couple of snipers, and just some of the enemies rushing towards me. And it felt really good. The accuracy felt great. Aiming the stock and lining it up for stabilization was perfect. I had no issues whatsoever. I was using a sniper, a shotgun, and also the assault rifle that I had equipped to my loadout. And it felt really good. I was really happy, and I'm going to continue using the stock with this game going forward. Everything just felt perfect. It felt right. It added that extra bit of immersion as well that I wanted. And yeah, I'm just really happy with this. Like, I really enjoyed this. So now you've seen some gameplay, let's actually talk about the stock itself, the pricing, and some specs. But firstly, let's actually go over what the material is made of. It's all injection molded using ABS plastic and carbon fiber tubing to, give it that nice premium feel and look. I mean, look at it. It's a nice stock. It's a really nice stock. Um, the only things that won't be injection molded and will be 3D printed is the adapters for the controllers, unless you're using the Quest. If you're using the Quest, then you will have an injection molded cup for your controller. So Not a big thing. Some people won't bother them. And I'm going to say this is by far the best 3D printed cup I've used for a controller. I'm saying cup. I don't know why. But look how easy it is to remove. You literally press down this bit here, give it a twist, and it comes out. Put it back in. Look at that. That's that's simple. Boom. So simple. Convenient, and it doesn't feel like it's going to fall out. I mean, you're not going to shake your hand like this playing a game. You're not going to do that. You are, though, obviously going to throw grenades and things, but you're not going to be shaking it around like that. But it stays in there. It's firm, and literally, it feels great. Anyways, next up, let's talk about the adjustment points because there's a few different adjustment points. I need to adjust myself here, because otherwise, you're not going to hear me properly. Let's start off with the front. This bit here can be adjusted if you turn this. That can go forward and back depending on where you want it. Depending on what gun you're using, assault rifles, SMGs, sniper rifles, leave it in this position. It feels great. If you're using a shotgun, whack it up like that and rest your hand underneath. You can under this bit here and line that up so you can pump it back. But yeah, I didn't really get much of a feel with that, so I just kept my hand underneath and just gave it a little wrist shake to get the pump action to work. Anyways, at the back here, we've got the chin rest. This can be pulled up like that if you want to give you a little bit of angling, but you don't really need it. It's meant to be in that position there, and it works absolutely fine. Turn it this way, and then it goes down to keep it out of the way. This bit here can also be adjusted. It's said to keep it in the midway position when starting, and then adjust it yourself to kind of find a good position. And lastly, this bit here can be adjusted as well to kind of extend it or bring it more in. So the stock itself is very lightweight. It weighs 440 grams, and not ever did it become heavy while holding. Did it ever feel an issue to play games with or cumbersome in any way? Even climbing ladders on some games and, carrying objects or doing puzzles with the controller on some games. It was absolutely fine. I had no issues whatsoever. And this is probably going to be my go to stock for a lot of things now. Just any shooting game I play is going to be my go to stock. I've really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. Let's quickly talk about the prices because obviously, you want to know the prices of this stock. Like I said at the start, this is injection molded. This isn't 3D printed. Yes, the adapter for the controller is 3D printed, but the whole stock itself isn't. So, with that in mind, bear in mind some 3D printed stocks out there are quite pricey. I think the price for this is quite reasonable for an injection molded stock of this premium quality. You can get it in two colors, white and black. So, swap black or imperial white, depending on which one you want. You then choose which controller adapter or controller you're using. I'm hoping they sell the controller adapter separately so you can buy one for your Quest and you can switch it over to your PSVR2 if you want, or whatever other controller you're using, because that will be perfect. Hopefully, that will be a thing. Maybe they can let us know in the comments. So, at this price at the moment in pre-order, it's $89.95. That's in dollars. Once the pre-order has ended, it'll be $124.95 or 124.95 if you heard properly, because I went 100. So yeah, it's it's a good price for what it is, to be fair, seeing as a lot of 3D printed stocks out there sometimes come into about the $90 range, $80 range, whereas this has got a much more premium quality feel to it. That doesn't include shipping though, and I'm sure that'll all be ironed out in a way to make that feel a little bit better and soften the blow. But I mean, in the States, it'll probably be a little bit better than shipping abroad and things like that. But let's quickly talk about my thoughts, my final thoughts on this and whether I recommend it. For me, out of any stock I've used, and I've used three without naming brands because I don't usually do that on reviews. This isn't a comparison video, this is a review for this stock. But out of all the other stocks I've used, this will be my go to one. And there's a lot of reasons as to why. It's the convenience of the stock not having to screw in my controller when playing. It's the fact there's no magnet, so I'm always stabilized and I can find this a lot quicker than finding a magnet on the front. It's overall a very comfortable stock and very aligned for every game that I played. And I just really like it. I think the weight is really good and it feels really comfortable to use. And I've been using it very heavily on the PSVR2 for the past week. And to be fair, it's gonna stay that way. Any first person shooter I play, I'm gonna be using this. I'm absolutely loving it. Great job on the stock, and yeah, I really do recommend it. I've been blown away by this. I've always had a bit of a mixed relationship with stocks, and that's mainly because of magnets. But this fixed it all. Really did for me. Really happy with this product. Lastly, I want to thank VR Tactical Gear for sending this out to me to review the Armory R1. I've really enjoyed this. I really have. Thank you so much. Um, like I said, anyone, if you want to find it, the links will be in the description of where to go to their website to pre-order. If this interests you, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If there's something I don't know, I will ask the owner of the company and see if they can either feedback to you or let me know, and I will let you know. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it a lot. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. It all means so much. And I will see you all in the next video. Have a great day and take it easy.